depressed is more than just feeling sad. It's normal to feel sad as a result of being hurt or of losing something or someone special. Depression affects people's thinking. They see themselves and the future negatively. Along with feeling sad or irritable, they may seem that nothing is worthwhile. And from time to time, everyone feels depressed, but it usually doesn't last.
I first started to notice Lucy showing signs of depression about halfway through the school year. She became hard to engage and motivate. Her low mood became constant, and she cried and was upset on a regular basis. She was easily irritated, and I also noticed that she wasn't socialising. She was overly withdrawn and was especially sensitive in comparison with my other students.
A diagnosis of depression is made only when the depressed mood has lasted more than 2 weeks, when it is intense and when the symptoms of depression interfere with the child's ability to manage everyday things. My colleagues and I began to notice quite a number of kids within our school begin to show signs of depression, and so that is why we decided to implement the Bounce Back program.
Hi, my name is Lucy. I am 12 years old and I'm in grade 6. I live with my mum and little brother. I really enjoy dancing and I've just started to learn how to play the flute at school. I wasn't always happy like I am now. I guess it's hard to explain, but in the early years of schooling, I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like no one wanted to be my friends, so I'd push people away and do my own thing. Often I would find myself crying most of the time. I didn't even know why I was crying. My mum was going through her own struggles at the time and couldn't see that I wasn't coping very well. I don't blame her, but I do have to thank my teachers and my school for the support and encouragement they gave me.
I vividly remember picking up the phone and hearing Lucy's teacher, Mrs. Boll, on the other end. She expressed her concerns about Lucy and asked if I'd noticed any changes within her in the past term. At this point, I was so worried about Lucy, and so I agreed to head in to see Lucy's teacher for a meeting with the principal.
Lucy's mum had noticed some change in her daughter, but thought that she would eventually grow out of it. It was a tough call to meet up with her because you never know how the parents would react. But I knew that if we didn't do anything about it, Lucy would only go downhill from there.
So the Bounce Back program implemented throughout Lucy's school was fantastic. I always thought Lucy was just a shy and timid girl, but once the program was up and running, I noticed a real change within her.
Bounce Back sessions were my favourite classes. We did a lot of team building activities and it was time when we focused and learned about our self-worth and others. It took a while for me to get used to it, but eventually I loved it and learnt about things like resilience and how to cope with everyday life. I found myself much happier. I realised that I am worth more than gold, that my life counts.
As a whole school, we began the Bounce Back program and we saw so many changes within our students. It was a real resilience and wellbeing program that has resources for teachers to use. It had us teaching kids about core values, courage, optimistic thinking, emotions, relationships through team building and so much more.
So the National Mental Health Strategy is a policy which aims to promote and prevent health and mental health issues. I believe that it's necessary to advocate for such a policy and apply a program that will benefit students and their health, as if they are not stable in their early years, then the cycle just continues to repeat itself. And we have this ongoing issue of mental health throughout our students and their families. It's time to take a stand and it's time to bounce back and help our students.
Don't let the lies through. They'll trick your mind and turn your heart.